to It's a Woman's World, where we'll meet achieving women making a difference in our community. I'm Carolyn Bruna. Our guest for today is Mindy Felinton, elder law attorney and principal in the law offices of Mindy Felinton. Welcome, Mindy.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I'm glad to have you here.
Delighted to be here.
Our topic today is going to be Medicaid planning, what's true and what isn't. And I'd like to start by asking you, why is this a good topic for elders to learn about?
Well, there's so many people in the public who are misled about what they can and cannot do as it relates to nursing home care and Medicaid planning. And I believe it's so important to educate the public about what's really true and how there are many different strategies and ways that they can protect that hard-earned money.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm thrilled to be able to be here to enlighten people about that.
Well, I'm looking forward to learning about this. And I was saying for elders to learn about, but as you said, it's really for everyone to learn about. Yeah, okay. So I think the first thing also to clear up is, what does an elder law attorney do?
Well, if I may sort of address elder law versus estate planning. Elder law attorneys, unlike estate planning attorneys, deal more with planning for life, planning for one's retirement. How am I going to take care of myself or my spouse when I'm older, but I'm alive? Estate planning, which people commonly hear about, is about death planning, wills, trusts, things like that. So the difference is death planning, that's estate planning, living planning, because people are living longer and longer. I mean, we all know, when Social Security came into being, people thought that at 65, one was going to be dead and we wouldn't have to be paying that. But now, of course, people are living longer and longer. And women, yes, and particularly women are living longer and longer. And so there's a great need to plan out the rest of one's life and to protect those hard-earned assets that people have accumulated.
Yeah, and actually that leads me perfectly into my next question, because I wanted to know the differences and common concerns that you may hear, especially from women, because we're in a women's show and a lot of our audience are women.
Sure. Yeah. And that is absolutely true, that there are different concerns that women need to address. And I'm so, again, thrilled to be able to share that information with them. Because women are living longer, and we are finding that in many situations, spouses are having to go into a nursing home. And so a common question that I hear is, my husband's going into a nursing home, or my husband is in a nursing home. Am I going to have to give up all of my money? Am I going to lose my house? And so those are the types of concerns that I'm hearing by my female clients.
And actually, I interject, but that is what we always have heard, that you do have to spend down and lose this and lose that. So you're saying that's not true necessarily.
That's right. That's one of the biggest, I guess, misleading statements that people in the business sometimes lend people to believe, that they have to, quote unquote, spend down their assets. So what we do as elder law attorneys is that we provide solutions to women so that they can remain in their homes and keep their homes and not become impoverished. There are a variety of different things that we can do to prevent that from happening. And that's what I do as an elder law attorney. And I'm thrilled to be able to provide that service.
Can you just give me an example of one or two of the things that I could do? Perhaps, let's say, my husband had to go, God forbid, into a nursing home or retirement community. What would I be able to do?
Well, you would be able to keep your home. You would be able to, there are different rules for when we're doing elder law planning for a single person versus elder law planning for married couples. Okay. There are a lot more opportunities to preserve resources for married couples, and perhaps we'll address further.
Yeah, you can say some of those now if you'd like.
Sure. Well, with married people, you can retain your home. With a single person, you can retain the home, but there would be a lien that would be placed against the home.
Right.
And that does not happen in a married couple situation,
Oh,
for
I
example.
see.
And with married couples, if your husband, for example, as you were talking about, needed to go into a nursing home, then you would be able to essentially retain what your resources are. We just take those resources and we work with them to restructure them in such a way that you end up retaining all of your resources. You can keep a car. There are burial plans that you can take out, and there are certain restrictions. So there's a variety of strategies that elder law attorneys who are working within the Medicaid field can share with you as an opportunity, again, to preserve those assets. But there are ways in which we would restructure, and essentially you would end up being in the same position that you are now financially. With the single person, that would be there would be a difference there.
Okay, yeah, continue that comparison.
Okay.
That's a good, I like that.
With the single person, as I said, there's also the home is an exempt resource, meaning that they can keep the home. However, in the state of Maryland, and I should backtrack and say, too, that the Medicaid program is a federal program, but it's administered by the state. Each state has its own laws. In fact, even each county works differently. So it depends on where one is in the state of Maryland. And I, for example, also am licensed in Florida. I have clients in Florida. The rules there are also very different. For example, here, we don't talk about, or there's no situation with income being a problem. It doesn't matter what the income is, as long as the income is less than the cost of nursing home care. So let's say your husband was getting Social Security, and he had a pension, and he was getting $2,500 a month in Social Security, and he was getting $2,500 a month in a pension.
All right.
So his income, just his, was $5,000 a month. But he goes into a nursing home, and the nursing home is $12,000 a month, which is not unusual in this area.
Right, yeah.
So that income would not count against him as it relates to getting him eligible for Medicaid acceptance, as long as it's less than, again, the cost of nursing home care.
Of the $12,000 nursing home. So there's that $7,000 deficit there. What happens to that?
That's what we would apply for Medicaid. Medicaid would then pay the difference in his care.
But how about if I at the time, well, usually a wife is a little younger, but let's say I at the time also had Social Security or retirement or something like that.
Your income would not affect that payment to the nursing home. Your income is separate. A spouse's income does not get calculated in that whole mix. Your resources, however, do. In other words, if you have investment accounts individually in your name, those are counted as your resources. There's two different issues. There's income and then there's resources. But like I had said a couple of moments ago, income in Maryland is not an issue. Unlike, for example, in Florida, there is an income maximum that one can have. So there's different rules that apply there.
To different states, and now you even said different localities within the states. That's amazing to me, because
Yes.
knowing it's a federal program, I assumed that it was the same state to state. Yeah. Okay, very
Yes.
interesting. Yeah, and of course we're talking about women, but we can reverse it. We don't want to exclude the men, and if same thing happens with a man, then the same things would apply.
Right, the same rules.
To him as a spouse if something happened to the wife, let's say.
That's right. That's right. And I have situations where I am representing the husband whose wife is in a nursing home. I have a few cases presently pending right now with that scenario.
Yeah. Of course, all of us, luckily, are living longer, but then we have these issues because of living longer, dementia or different things.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. And to also share with you the other requirement as it relates to nursing home care for getting eligible for Medicaid, there's two components. There's the financial aspect of it, which we've touched upon and will, I believe, go into further, because it's important for people to have more information about that. But there's also the medical eligibility requirement. So they have to be medically eligible in addition to being financially eligible. So elder law attorneys will work with the clients, the parents, et cetera, to get the finances in order, but the medical eligibility is something that has to be looked at.
Can I ask now, do you also work with the medical eligibility?
I cannot dictate whether someone's going to be deemed medically eligible. The state has a separate company who actually goes out and does an assessment to determine whether or not that person for whom we're looking to get qualified for Medicaid meets the medical eligibility component. And generally it's not being able to do 2 activities of daily living. For example, they can't dress themselves, they can't toilet themselves, eat, things
Make their
like
own,
that.
prepare their own meals, that type of thing.
Right,
yeah, 2
right.
of those different activities. And that's kind of imposed by a medical facility or something, and then you learn that information from them, and then you go on and continue with your own information that you work on. Yeah,
Yes.
to help them with the funding and getting them into the nursing home if they don't have enough money.